Today, we're going to learn about the superlative adjectives. Let's start with one-syllable adjectives in the superlative form. Remember that in Unit 80, you learned about the comparative adjectives. For example, long, longer. With the superlative, the endings are different. The superlative form of one-syllable adjectives normally ends in est. For example, long, longest. And before superlatives, we use the definite article the. So we say the longest. Let's look at some examples of one-syllable adjectives. Superlative form. Jane is 18. Claire is 20. And Sarah is 22. Jane is the youngest. And Sarah is the oldest. Jim won the race in 12 seconds. Frank was second with 13 and a half seconds. Dennis was third with 14 seconds. Jim was the fastest. And Dennis was the slowest. Now, let's look at two-syllable adjectives ending in y in the superlative form. Two-syllable adjectives ending in y, which are very common, have a superlative form ending in iest. For example, pretty, the prettiest. Notice that you need to change the y to an I before adding est. Okay, let's see more examples. Funny, the funniest. Silly, the silliest. Dirty, the dirtiest. Now, let's move on. Let's look at longer adjectives, superlative form. So, with two-syllable adjectives, not ending in y, and with longer adjectives of 3 syllables or more, we use the adverb most. For example, expensive, the most expensive. Comfortable, the most comfortable. Interesting, the most interesting. Dangerous, the most dangerous. Note that in contrast, when we want to express the idea of not so much, we use the least instead of the most. The least is the opposite of the most. For example, apples are the least expensive. Arabic, Chinese, and Greek are difficult languages, but Greek is the least difficult. One more thing before we finish. I will teach you the irregular comparative and superlative forms. Let's look at the adjectives, the comparative form, and the superlative form. Good, better than, the best. Bad, worse than, the worst. Far, further than, or farther than. The furthest, or the farthest. I will show you some examples. Miguel Indurain was the best cyclist in the world. I am the worst singer in my family. There are not many, and you just need to memorize them.